it's Angela and Sarah here today, and we're going to be showing you how to make a cover for your iPad, your Kindle, your Nook, whatever kind of tablet that you have out of an old book. And I love this. I've had this for a few years now and I still use it. It sits on my shelf just like a regular book, and I know it's my cover, so I know what's inside of it. But I get comments all the time about how cool this is when I'm out reading. So, and it also gives you the feel of a real book. If you're one of those people that likes to hold a book to read, this is a great option. So what you need is whatever tablet you're going to be using. You need to have it when you try to find a book. This is just an old book that I found, and it's slightly larger than the Nook that I'm using. Now, a lot of people might say you're tearing up an old book. This is true, but the way we're going to remove it, you can keep all of the pages intact because it will still have the spine on it, and you can put it in something else if you want to actually save the pages. We just need the cardboard outside of the book. So you'll need your book, a box from like a cereal box, so this is a pizza box. It's just a little bit harder cardboard but not too thick. About a 1/2 inch elastic, some glue, a razor blade, a little bit of fabric, I use a Sharpie, and then you'll also need a hot glue gun. So what you want to do to start is to take your book and just cut along the spine very carefully, not to cut your hands, but just to get the outside of the cover off. Okay, so once you have the pages gone, you can lay the outside covering down flat onto the cardboard, and then you just want to trace around the book until you have a template. Now this template is going to be the exact size of the book, so you do want it to be a little smaller. So what I do is, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just come in about maybe 1/2 inch, maybe not even 1/2 inch, just a little bit, and then cut out around the inside. Okay, so I cut around it and then I laid it down here, and it's pretty good. I think I'll trim just a little bit more off the side here because I just want it to sit inside the book, and once I add the fabric, it'll add a little bit of bulk to it, so it'll add just a little bit more around the edges. So that is the cardboard, and now we're going to move on to cutting the fabric. Okay, so your cardboard's cut, but now you need to cut a piece of fabric to cover the cardboard so that the inside looks pretty. So any fabric you have, I just had this left over, so that's what I'm going to be using today for this tutorial. So you just lay the cover down, and then, I mean, if you have stripes, you kind of want to make sure it's straight, and then trace around the outside of the book again. And then for this, you actually want to cut a little bit outside of the lines because this needs to cover the cardboard. Okay, so once you have both pieces cut, you're going to add glue to, I guess you could add it to the cardboard, it would probably be easier. So you're going to add glue to the entire piece, and you kind of want to spread it out and make it even so that when the fabric sticks to it, it adheres and there's no bubbles, and that it you can't see the glue through it. You also want to make sure that you're using the plain side and not the side that has graphics on it, because when you flip it over, you don't want the graphics showing through the fabric. So after you have it glued, then you're going to use a hot glue gun. Okay, so once you have it all glued down, you're going to take a hot glue gun and just kind of run a bead of glue along one side, and then you'll try to work kind of quickly so that it gets on there, and then you just want to roll it over and get it as tight as you can around the corner. And I like to do both the long sides first. You can do it however you want. And then in the corners, I just kind of cut like at an angle. If you can see right here, just kind of cut towards the corner right there. And then I'll flip it over. And then I also before I glue, I flip it over as well, and then I just cut off this excess fabric. And that kind of gives you a nice clean corner. And I'll do it over here too. And that way when you glue it down, it will give you a pretty tight corner. And then you're done with this step. Okay, so you have your two pieces. You have your cardboard that is covered in fabric, and then you have your outer book. So right now you're just going to kind of figure out where you need the elastic. So kind of lay it where you want it, and then put your tablet on top of it, and you're going to want to make sure that the front is in the right position so that when you open it, it's not upside down or backwards or whatever. And then you're going to take your elastic and kind of figure out where you want it to cover each corner of the tablet so that when you stick it in, it's going to hold it. So I am just going to kind of make a few marks on my fabric. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. In each corner. And then you're also going to have to do it over here, which is a little bit of the tricky part. So you're going to measure the top again. And then this is the spine. So I'm going to make a cut like right here. And hopefully I'll be able to see that with a razor blade so that I can get the elastic into a little slot here. So let's see if I can do this. Be very careful when you're doing this because you do not want to cut yourself. It didn't go all the way through. Okay, and so now I have a little cut here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then I will show you how to attach it. Alright, so I kind of did this one just to practice before I showed you. So I cut the slit on this side as well, and then you just want to kind of push the elastic through it until you... I did do this side as well as I did the other side. And pull it through, and then make sure you have enough elastic, and I have my marks here again. And then you're going to just use your hot glue again, put a little dab, and attach that elastic on the back side so that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to flip it back over, get it on my mark, and add some hot glue on the bottom. And glue that side. And then I will, for the outside piece, get another little piece of elastic here. You're going to go on the outside of each, so that will just sit along the outside. And so I'll hot glue that, and then I'll show you how to attach it. Okay, so I have my elastic all attached to the cardboard, and it's all glued back here, and I just trimmed off any extra elastic. And so now we're going to have to work quickly, but we're going to just put hot glue kind of all over and make sure get it good around the outside where it's going, you know, this edge, the edges of this piece of cardboard. And then we're going to just attach it to the inside of our book cover. Okay, so I have hot glued everything down, and now it's got all the elastic is secure, everything's secure. What you will need to do is to kind of bend it around the spine so that it kind of takes the shape and it's not so rigid, and just kind of work with it. You might take a little time to get it to stay shut, and then you can add your tablet. And it's pretty secure. and it will protect it, and it actually is really a cute idea because if you really like to hold a book, this actually feels like you're holding a book, and hopefully you get a lot of compliments from it and use it for a really long time. Thanks guys!